Okay, let's go ahead and do some checking here and see how the audio sounds on this thing. We'll give that a try and see how we go. All right, so getting some audio out there. Going to keep the mic muted for now so that we don't get a copyright violation. We don't want to do that. Okay. Um, okay, let's do a search for KNOX TV. Okay. And let's go to the channel. And this right now should be where we're at. Okay. Let's see how this goes. Turn the volume up. Okay. All right. Sounds like it's pretty good. Okay. Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we'll try it again. 1, 2, 3. Just to see if we're too loud. I'm not sure why it is that I can't find my graphics here all of a sudden. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong scenes. Okay. Come over here. Okay, we'll replace this. Okay, we'll try it again. 1, 2, 3. Just to see if we're too loud. I'm not sure why it is that I can't find my graphics here all of a sudden. Okay, there's Drive. Oh, that's because I'm in the wrong scenes. Okay. All right, let's do some tools. Let's see if we can get that in. Okay, we'll replace this. Drive. Thompson, Mayport, Clipper, Galesburg, Fuel. Okay, and then we got keys. Okay. All right, let's do some tools. Thompson, Mayport, CG, keys. Very good. Okay. That's centered on the screen a little bit better. Looks pretty good. Okay, so there's that. Now what's next? The coach's video. Okay, so coaches. Welcome back to our pregame show. We get ready for Thompson post 181 baseball today. They go up against Mayport Clifford Galesburg, getting back into sectional play today. We have an opportunity to catch up with Nate Solis, the head coach of Thompson baseball. They've been on quite a run lately. Lots of high school success, lots of Legion success, trying to turn that back over into some success for the Legion baseball season coming up this year. So, Coach, let's talk about, first of all, going back to the high school season, 4 consecutive state championships. They say every team is a little bit different. So tell us if winning these 4 state championships at the high school level was all the same, or if you've noticed some subtle differences in your teams and maybe what those differences were. How are these teams been a little bit different one to the next?
Yeah, I think this.
Okay, there we go. Looks like all that's working. All right. When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge product.
The following is a presentation of KNOX Sports.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. It is a beautiful day for baseball here in Thompson, where we get set for our coverage of Legion Baseball to continue on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. Ryan Cunningham with you today. Jacob Lindemann will have our videography work this afternoon as Thompson Post 181, the defending high school state champions, will take on Mayport or Mayville today. Mayport CG, as we would know them in high school. Again, during Legion Baseball, things change up a little bit. They'd probably technically be known as Mayville, but they're going to go as Mayport Clifford Galesburg as far as their identity today. And we will see Mayville taking on Thompson in the section opener for the Thompson Post 181 American Legion baseball team. We welcome you to our pregame report, brought to you today on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Thompson claiming their fourth consecutive state championship in high school baseball this past season, and now trying to move on to the Legion season with some pretty high expectations. You'll find out more about that with Nate Solis, the head coach of the Thompson Tommies, coming up here in our pregame report in just a bit. So that will be something that will be worth taking in for those of us. Again, for those of you that have been joining us for KNOX Live Sports throughout the course of our time in video streaming here in the area. we've begun to work in some new features to include the opportunity to visit with our coaches, and that's something that we had the opportunity to do with Nate Solis earlier today, is have a good conversation about his team. We're going to talk with him coming up here a little bit later on in our pregame report. But one of the oddities for Thompson coming into this one today is that they have not played the entire week. You're looking at a Mayville team that's had 13 baseball games already. They're 4-9 on the season, 0-1 inside District 6 play. And this Thompson team hadn't played yet inside Legion baseball. Took the week off after having their season extended for a week going through the state tournament. And they will play 3 times this week. It's going to be an aggressive schedule. They're here today. They will go to Langdon coming up tomorrow, and they'll be back here with Park River on Thursday. Another matchup that we plan to have for you on KNOX Live Sports coming up on Thursday back here in Thompson. That'll feature a couple of teams that were both in the state high school baseball tournament back at the end of May, or earlier this month in Fargo at the home of the Redhawks, Newman Outdoor Field. So tonight starts the stretch. 3 dates this week, and one of the things that you have to have is a lot of pitching in order to be able to come through that. Nate Solis, the head coach of Thompson, says his team does have a lot of pitching. They've got plenty of it to be able to get through the stretch that they're looking at having to make this upcoming week. And so with the opportunity to have a lot of options, a lot of returners, moving a lot of people over from that high school team, it's an important part of having some success, and it looks as though Thompson's going to have that big core coming back. So again, coming up here in just a bit in our pregame report, we'll have that good visit with Nate Solis, the head coach of Thompson. For Mayport CG, as we mentioned, 4-9 on the season. It's a young team. They're 0-1 inside the section, but a young team that will figure things out as the season moves along. And as we heard from Coach Solis in the pregame interview, a bit of a preview of that conversation for you. He had mentioned that they've had the experience factor so far this year, 13 American Legion games in already. Some of those might be 5, some of those might be 3s that they played so far this year, but they count on the record, and they've won 4 times. And so they will probably come in as perhaps not the favorite in this one against this Thompson baseball team, but they're going to come in with 13 games under their belt and a sense of kind of knowing what they're doing. And Thompson's still kind of between lineups. They're going to get a couple of people back as far as super seniors, one that's with them, one that will be with them later. And so they're still kind of figuring things out, changing things around from the high school season to the Legion season. So Mayport trying to catch Thompson in a little bit of a role of perhaps not being completely steady with what it is that they're going to do. And that sets the table for you today from Thompson, where we've got a beautiful day. We've got temperatures in the 80s, not really a hint of rain. It's a little humid out there. That's the one thing that comes to bear in this one. But I think that as far as baseball conditions are concerned, we really couldn't argue with this one. We should be set for a good one today. And we bring it to you courtesy of our premier sports partners. They include Rivard's Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks, and you can find them always at rivards.com. With these very different growing conditions that we're having, it seems like from week to week this year, you want to make sure that you're planning out your turf and forage projects with the best, and that includes Rivard's Turf and Forage. They're not a one and done like you get from the big box stores. With Rivard's Turf and Forage, they can change up their seed varieties to adjust to the growing conditions that we have changing throughout the course of the year. That's the advantage of having science on your side at Rivard's Turf and Forage. You can find them online at rivards.com. And also brought to you today by Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks. Whether it's time to upgrade your trailer to a new model, they've got every make and model of trailer you're looking for, or if it's time for you to simply get work done to make sure that trailer continues to go down the road, you can handle that as well at Grand Trailer Sales. They've got a great parts and service department to take you through the next step to make sure that that trailer is what you want it to be throughout the course of the year. Again, our premier sports partners are Grand Trailer Sales and Rivard's Turf and Forage. Coming up, we'll talk with Nate Solis, the head coach of Thompson Post 181 American Legion Baseball. So we'll have that conversation for you. We'll run down the complete standings inside District 6 and get ready for what should be a fun day of baseball here in Thompson today. It's the Thompson Post 181 American Legion baseball team. They'll be hosting Mayport CG or Mayville today in the section opener for Thompson. This is our coverage of Legion baseball on the Rivard's Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Plus, they also carry a full line of ice melter products for your home or business. To check out all their products, go to rivards.com.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, trade, or rent a trailer, stop into East Grand Forks. GrandTrailersSales.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. They have pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. Go to SprayAdvantage.com.
Picture yourself at Lake Region State College. With faculty and staff here to help you succeed, we know you by name. Picture your success as you get hands-on ready for the workforce or transfer on to earn your bachelor's degree. Lake Region State College. We change lives.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always...
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com. Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks. Welcome back to our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports today from Thompson, where it's a gorgeous day for baseball. The wind has picked up just a little bit, but that's actually having a cooling presence on the stadium here today. It'll keep it nice and comfortable. Mayport comes to town today to take on Thompson in the section opener for Thompson Post 181 and the season opener for Legion Baseball for the state high school champions. They'll take on a Mayport team that is currently 4-9 in the overall category, 0-1 inside District 6 play. We continue along with our pregame report today, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values and ready to serve you with their 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. They are the home for the John Deere products that you've come to know and love generationally in our area. True North Equipment, ready to serve you with service and, of course, John Deere products. True North Equipment bringing you our pregame report, and as does Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. They have you covered with vinyl signage for your business needs, if that's something that you're looking to add to your business. But beyond that, the custom etching of different materials that they can affix to various types of clothing. We've seen it done. Metal, wood, you name it. They can put that on clothing and really take that logo of yours and move it to the next level. They've got custom embroidery and silk printing as well, screen printing at Signature Graphics and Apparel. You'll find them in East Grand Forks near the Point Bridge. You'll be able to find Signature Graphics and Apparel, and they're ready to work with you in East Grand Forks as well. They bring you our pregame report today. Before we go to our coaches conversation, let's just take a look at what we have as far as our standings are concerned with our drive for the title. Drive for the title is brought to you by Toys for Trucks. They are your car, truck, and Jeep accessory supercenter in Grand Forks, and we'll talk more about them in a moment. You can see on your screen that right now the District 6 Legion standings are pretty young. 2 wins in the District 6 standings so far for the Hillsborough Central Valley Blue Sox. Hatton Northwood Now, I forget their nickname out there. Is it the Honey Badgers? I think it is. They're 1-1. Mayport CG is also 1-1 inside the section. Thompson hasn't played a Legion game yet, and Fargo Oak Grove has a Legion team that's part of this. I'm not really sure how they pull that off with the Legion post requirements that they have, but Oak Grove has an opportunity to put a team inside this particular section. And Gardner, which we expect to be a pretty good team. After all, Northern Cass was in the state tournament. Gardner 0-1 so far this year, and 0-1 in the overall category as well. So it's a young season. The Blue Sox out to a couple of wins and a 5-1 record. Hatton Northwood has a win and a loss, and they're out to a 4-1 record so far this year. Mayport CG with a win, and Gardner 0-1 so far this year, and this will be the first outing in Legion baseball for Thompson this season. So that's the way the drive for the title stacks up. And again, drive for the title is brought to you by Toys for Trucks. They are your car, truck, and Jeep accessory supercenter. They've got a full line of products to take your ride to the next level, whether it's custom wheels and rims or performance tires. They have all the major brands of performance tires that you're looking for. And of course, Toys for Trucks has all the other effects that you're looking for as well to take that ride of yours if you're out there for the summer driving season, the classic car shows. Toys for Trucks can help you. Toys for Trucks, your car, truck, and Jeep accessory supercenter in Grand Forks at 6105 Gateway Drive. They're on Highway 2 West in Grand Forks. And that will take us up to our coaches conversation that we'll have with Nate Solis, the head coach of the Thompson Post 181 American Legion baseball team. Those comments on the way, along with a look at our game fuel, and this one coming up as well as we continue with our pregame report here today. It's Thompson and Mayport. We'll continue with that pregame report brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel and brought to you by True North Equipment with the comments of Coach Nate Solis next on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod. Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new again. Big or small, at Finest Auto Trim, we can cover it all. To check out our services, go to finestautotrim.com or stop out on Demers Avenue in Grand Forks to get your quote today.
When you think breakfast, you think Perkins Restaurant. Whether you keep it simple with a fresh baked mammoth muffin and coffee or go all out and try the tremendous 12 breakfast, Perkins Restaurant is your breakfast place. Perkins Restaurant and a great breakfast make the perfect team. Since 1972, Jarrell's Sports Center and Hockey World has provided year-round sporting goods, apparel, and of course, hockey equipment and training tools. You'll also find they have a state-of-the-art skate sharpening machine to give you the edge you need. For anything sports, stop into Jarrell's and Hockey World.
Residents of the Midwest are known for being self-starters and getting the job done. But when it comes to electrical work, it's best to call a professional. Hi, this is Steve from Bergstrom Electric. It's true that there's a certain glory to accomplishing a task on your own, but it's our experience that not only will save you time, but also the headaches that go along with home improvement projects. A simple phone call to Bergstrom Electric can make all the difference. At Bergstrom Electric, the light does shine brighter.
As guys, we all love our trucks. That's why Toys for Trucks is your headquarters for all things truck. They carry an amazing selection of rims and tires, plus floor mats, tonneau covers, hitches, plows, and even Excalibur remote car starters for any car, truck, or SUV. And the best part? They can install everything for your truck right at their location. Stop out at Toys for Trucks in Grand Forks to customize your ride, or check them out at toysfortrucks.com.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, no matter what the size, PS Doors offers the proper service for you. Get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Add a pop of color and excitement to your next celebration with Balloons by Misty. Their one-of-a-kind balloon design skills and creativity will make your event unforgettable. It's always a party at Balloons by Misty. Visit balloonsbymisty.com today.
Franson Bank and Trust in Grand Forks is a community bank that caters to businesses, farms, and consumers. They provide customized financial solutions with personalized customer service. Let Franson Bank give you the banking relationship you deserve. Real people, real results.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics, we craft your vision, you watch it come to life.
Welcome back to our pregame show. We get ready for Thompson post 181 baseball today. They go up against Mayport Clifford Galesburg, getting back into sectional play today. We have an opportunity to catch up with Nate Solis, the head coach of Thompson baseball. They've been on quite a run lately. Lots of high school success, lots of Legion success, trying to turn that back over into some success for the Legion baseball season coming up this year. So, Coach, let's talk about, first of all, going back to the high school season, 4 consecutive state championships. They say every team is a little bit different. So tell us if winning these 4 state championships at the high school level was all the same, or if you've noticed some subtle differences in your teams and maybe what those differences were. How are these teams been a little bit different one to the next?
Yeah, I think this one that took a little bit of extra work to get there, battling through the region, having to come through the losers bracket, and then we had to battle through, a tough Northern Cass game in the semifinals there. So kind of a few different comebacks and a few different games, which we're, I guess, maybe not used to, but thrilling wins and good mental toughness by our guys to push through that. I think a lot of that has to do with the experience that we have of just being in those big game moments. Not that it's some kids might say, well, it's just another game. It's not just another game, but it is a game that they've played in. Going back a few years, obviously we have a pretty special senior class this year that all of them have been starting for 3 years. So they have that experience. The biggest thing difference wise this year, I would say, our, like I said, our ability to come back a little bit. Not that other groups didn't have it. We just had to see it a little bit more from this group in the postseason and in crunch time. I think there's a little bit more to do with we had a lot of really good kids step up in big time moments, and our best players were our best players in the postseason, and that's what you have to be able to have postseason success. You look at what Tom Schumacher did this spring, what William Welke did. I can go on and on, but those two really stepped up in a big way for us in the postseason. But yeah, I guess what we always like to key in on pitching and defense. I would say defense was extraordinary during the postseason. When you look at box scores, and not box scores aren't everything, of course, but when you look at that, at the end of the day, I think we made one error in the state tournament, and I know which error it was. Obviously, it sticks out, and it didn't cost us anything. So we didn't beat ourselves in any way. Our pitching was phenomenal in the state tournament when we needed it most, led by seniors again. So I think our ability 1 through 9 to hit the ball was it really developed throughout the year, and I really liked that as it came down to it. At the end of it, we were playing our best baseball. That's all you can ask for as a coach.
A couple of things out of that, Coach. Number one, you mentioned pitching and defense, and your teams have been just built on that the last few years, and you've seen it on the field. You can see that that's priority number one. It takes a lot of buy-in with young people this day and age to buy into pitching and defense when everybody wants to hit the baseball and score a lot of runs. But that's one thing you could talk about. The other thing that you could talk about is just the idea that when you say big games, they've been in big games that aren't baseball. They've been in some big games in football and boys basketball as well. All of those things help them handle those stressful moments of having to come back in games that you're maybe trailing or having to come back through a consolation bracket. It all matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? They've had success in some of those big games with baseball and basketball and football even, and they have also not had success in some of those. And even in baseball, we lost Legion Championship last year. So I think it's a good life skill. Obviously, we talk about that with baseball all the time. I like to relate that a lot with life. But you know what? When you've failed before, and it only makes you want to get better. And obviously, when you win too, going back 4 years now when we won the first one, and you just want to keep achieving that feeling, and then you just kind of go into the process of what got us there. And I think you go back to the buy-in of pitching and defense. I think we really stress that at practice. Not that we don't stress hitting, but I know kids are going to get their swings in. So when we're at practice, when coaches are involved heavily, it's a lot of pitching and defense, bullpens, obviously. Brian Overby's been helping us out the last few years with our pitchers, and he's done a phenomenal job, and we can't thank him enough for what he's done for our program. simply because of just his ability to show up and be there for the kids and provide some entertainment while he's there. So the buy-in there has been great from the kids, and then we have a track record of, hey, this is what can happen, and going back to that process of if you can buy in and do this, good things can happen. It doesn't always happen, and obviously it takes, going back to all of this is a special senior class and supporting cast that we had down to an eighth grader. It takes a lot of special talent, and that's what we've been very fortunate to have, and it's no secret that we know that that's a big ingredient. So fortunate to work with the kids that we have in the past few years.
Coach, could you explain to us what the biggest challenge is of trying to convert high school baseball success over to Legion baseball success when you're going from spring to summer? I think sometimes with fans, it's lost on them. They just think it's one sport. And there are different challenges to it with schedules and players and that type of thing. Can you talk to us a bit about what the biggest challenge is in turning one into the other?
Yeah, I would say a couple things, and it's not anybody's fault. I would just say lack of structure. Kids are coming from all over the place, whether they're coming from working little league. We got a lot of kids that work our little league programs and help out with that, or they're working a job. We had guys working at the golf course last year and out in the sun all day. And then you got camps and you got weightlifting, and there's just a lot going on in the kid's life. In 2025 in the summer. So I would say that the biggest thing is you don't know what their day looked like before they even got to the field. 5 o'clock, typically spring, you're gonna see them throughout the day at school, obviously, and then you're gonna have practice at about 3:30, or you're on a bus at about 2:30. So that lack of structure is really and like I said, it's not it's just something you have to work through. We our typical Legion schedule right now is about Monday through Thursday, 4 days a week. One practice and a few games, depends on the week what we have. But the kids are busy doing other things too, and and you got to let them have time to be kids and enjoy their summer and enjoy doing some activities. So I would say that's one thing, and then obviously, like I said, the camps and the other activities and sports want to get their summer work in, and so trying to balance that. We've got a good relationship with all of our other coaches for Thompson, and it works out well for us. But I know that's it's a factor in making it a long summer. So just got to try to find that balance. I would say that's the biggest thing. We think we have that, and try to put as less stress on the kids as we can. But at the end of the day, it's baseball season too, and you signed up to play Legion baseball, so this is what's going to happen. And expecting and having those expectations, I think they've been good for us. So, but yeah, I would say it's definitely a different beast. It's a lot of the same kids. Obviously, for us, it's the same staff. Just depends on where you go. A lot of assistants in the spring will help and coach the Legion baseball team. Some other people have a totally different adult doing that. So it really just depends where you go. But yeah, definitely a different season for sure. But you know what? At the end of the day, you take a school out of there, and it's a lot of what kids enjoy doing, being active and playing sports.
You mentioned that it's a lot of the same kids. Well, for Thompson, there's a lot of different players that you can talk about in a baseball season throughout the course of the year that are going to make contributions. But I don't know if anybody has made the kind of contributions over a 4-year run that Thomas Schumacher has made for your team. We've seen him do some crazy things playing shortstop on that left-hand side of the infield. We've seen him do some crazy things with the bat. He's a guy that when you have him, you can build around him. Certainly not taking anything away from the other players that you have on your team, but he's a standout guy for you.
Yeah, and you know what? He deserves everything. He's a 5-year starter for us. I remember when he was an eighth grader, we kind of just put him wherever. And you don't do that for an eighth grader. You just don't. And he could handle it. He had the mental ability to handle it. I would say that the greatest compliment that I can pay Tom as a baseball player is he plays the game the right way. Plays hard. He's going to do the right things for you on and off the field. He's been a captain for us for 3 years now, and so he's well respected by his teammates, obviously by his coaches, and people around the Thompson area know what he's about. And obviously, yeah, the on-field success speaks for itself. he stepped up in a big way this year for us, pitching. We weren't sure exactly how that was going to go. We knew he was a capable arm. We kind of thought now maybe he can get some relief innings and come kind of be a spot reliever for us. And plans kind of changed, and he ate up. I think he had the second or third most innings on the team, and did a phenomenal job for us and won us some big games that we had to have at the end of the year. So yeah, he's obviously signed to go to play at Minnesota Crookston, and they're excited about him there for all the right reasons. And he's shown that he's able to play at that level. He's hit a lot of tough pitching. I've seen the state tournament as well, facing some key matchups there. And like I said at the first question, your best players got to be your best players at the end of the year, and that was him.
Let's talk about how your team might be different than it was during the high school season. With Legion Baseball, you can sometimes grab some super seniors. You might also lose some guys that were contributors but have other plans for the summer. So were you able to retain most of your group, and did you add to that with any players that decided to come back for another year?
Yep. Good majority of our spring roster is back. All the starters are back. And then we're super seniors this year. Braden Wolfgram got Braden back full time, and then Brody Gibson will be back. He's not back right now. He's got some obligations for his summer job that he's going to be working out, and that we've come to an agreement there. So we'll have those two back once the postseason starts for sure. So you look at two other kids that when they were playing, they were 4-year starters too. So there's a lot of experience, and there's a lot of arms. So we have a lot of options there, which is nice. And then you look at I always go to the defensive side of things, what works best defensively, and then the rest always kind of works itself out. So when you look at Braden possibly coming back to whether it's third base, obviously to eat up a lot of innings for us back on the mound as our ace, or catch at the end of the year, we'll see what happens. But he can do a variety of different things, and obviously Brody's in the outfield. And for those who have seen Brody play, that not a lot is going to drop out there with him. And then you couple that with a lot of the guys that we had success for the spring season, and look what we could possibly have with an outfield there. And we're obviously very fortunate and pretty excited about the possibility of that. So yeah, we got two kids coming back, super seniors, that we're excited to have back. And I think, obviously Braden played at Concordia and had a good spring season there for them and contributing. And you can tell Brody's itching to get back. He missed, didn't do it. He went to NDSU and obviously just a full-time student. And you can tell he's got an itch to get back as well. So we're excited to have them back and contributing. And just been an overall fun. We're about 2 weeks into it now. We took the first week off. And so yeah, we're full swing in the Legion season. It's fun to come to the field every day.
So it means obviously that you must have some pretty high expectations for this year, but let's also talk about the competition that you're up against. You're diving right into it this week. You've got Mayport, you've got Park River. We could talk about tonight's competition, and we'll talk again on Thursday about another team that was in the state tournament. But Mayport's one of those teams that always seems to want to hunt you down throughout the course of the year. It's a big game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, every time you get into, it's District 6, but anytime you get into Region 2, District 6 play, all the teams there's no secrets. So, you throw that out the window, and kids want to go out there and compete. And then you throw that wrinkle into summer, and they have, I think, a returner or two that they'll contribute for them. And so that makes it exciting. And, they're a young team, but I think they got some talent there, and they've played a lot of games already from what I've seen. So, we got maybe a little bit more rust than they do, but they've played plenty, and they're getting that experience. And you just can't teach experience, and that's what I go back to with a lot of with our kids. And when we have young guys having to step up, they just need to play. So maybe I was having a lot of guys they're just needing to play, and they're getting a lot of games in there. And I know they had some success last weekend in the Montgomery tournament. So, yeah, we're excited for that. It's always fun when they come to town, and usually travel pretty well with parents and everything like that. So it's usually a well-attended game. And like I said, anytime you get into that region or district play with Mayville, HCV, Hat Northwood, when you're a half hour away from everybody, you develop a little bit of a rivalry there, and you want to beat those guys. So yeah, it should be a fun game. And looking forward to it.
And what have you talked about as far as expectations for this team this year? Have you come together and talked about goals, or are you just going to leave that quiet until we get to the end of the season?
We do that a lot in the spring, and then summer gets around. Like I said, you get so many schedules. It's just like you try to have a meeting and you got to clear it with, this year we got to clear it with about 18 guys. So usually it doesn't work out for a guy or two, so you just push it back. But yeah, I don't think I don't think it's anything, that nobody doesn't know. I mean, we know what we got coming back. We know the experience that we've had with this senior group. And so, yeah, I don't think it's a secret what our expectations are. Obviously, you got to get through the district first, and that's where it starts. We don't start talking about state championships until we get through a tough district. And, you don't want to look too far ahead because then something might happen. So, first of all, it is enjoy their summer. And then let's play some baseball on the weekdays, and then let's get to postseason time, and then let's like I said, we have 2 kids coming back, so there's and we already had a full 9, obviously, that we were pretty confident in, so we got a lot of options, and it's a good competition for us to have internally, and for kids to be able to push each other in the right way. So we got to figure some things out that way with the regular season, and get guys just back into the swing of things, and get some young guys at some games. Those second games are really valuable for us this year with getting some young guys in. So that's kind of our main goal right now. And then once the postseason time comes, we usually have a meeting or two to really discuss, what A, we want to get done, and B, how do we get it done, by a few simple points. And when you've been around a group for so long, obviously the kids that are coming back started for 4 years. These seniors have started for 3. You know what? There's, like I said, there's no secrets from other teams. There's no secrets from our staff, from our players. Everybody's kind of been around each other, that we know what to expect from one another. And that's always a nice expectation to have as well.
Those are the comments of Nate Solis, the head coach of Thompson Post 181 American Legion Baseball, also the head coach of the Thompson Tommies from the high school season, continuing our pregame report here today as we get ready to go with Thompson and Mayport Clifford Galesburg in the upcoming matchup for American Legion Baseball. Up next, we'll take a look at those starting lineups. We'll go through our game fuel, a couple of players to watch on each side of the ball today, and get ready for the first pitch here in Thompson as Post 181 hosts Mayport CG today with a beautiful day for baseball in Thompson. This is our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Our pregame report brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel and True North Equipment. We'll continue after this. When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
You've been waiting for a chance to do something that matters, something big without a big price tag. Welcome to Northland Community and Technical College. Here you can have a big impact on a small campus, in classrooms that mirror today's workplace, with instructors who teach from experience and know you by name. You've been waiting for a place like this. Are you ready?
Need seed, think Proseed. Proseed.net.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, trade, or rent a trailer, stop into East Grand Forks. GrandTrailersSales.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Plus, they also carry a full line of ice melter products for your home or business. To check out all their products, go to rivards.com.
Picture yourself at Lake Region State College with faculty and staff here to help you succeed. We know you by name. Picture your success as you get hands-on ready for the workforce or transfer on to earn your bachelor's degree. Lake Region State College. We change lives.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. They have pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. Go to sprayadvantage.com.
Your local Circle K and Holiday Station stores are proud to support high school activities. Stop by the new Circle K location at 1316 South Washington Street for not only gas, but a wide array of hot and cold food, snacks for everyone, and a car wash. Open 24/7, 7 days a week.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com. Welcome back to our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. We're ready to go. Thompson post 181 taking their warm-up tosses as we speak, and we'll see Mayport, Clifford, Galesburg, and Thompson in action. We'll take you through the starting lineups brought to you by Franson Bank and Trust. Real people, real results, fransonbank.com. Bringing you our starting lineups today for the visitors. Mayport CG leading off is the pitcher Connor Doctor. Batting second is Walker McGillis at first base. Batting third, Sawyer McGillis at short. And Caden Hogfuss behind the plate will clean up. Easton Hansen is the designated hitter. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth is Alex Arsvold. He'll be at third. Sawyer Weaver will bat seventh in left field. Batting eighth is Aiden Arsvold at second base. And Bricker Johnson will bat ninth and round it out in center field today. Starting lineup for Mayport CG brought to you by Franson Bank and Trust. Real people, real results, fransonbank.com. The pitcher is Tom Schumacher for Thompson. And standing in is Connor Doctor, a lefty. And the first pitch of the game is a strike. We are underway early today, officially at 4:58 this afternoon here in Thompson with strike one. Schumacher rears back and delivers 0-1, and strike two paints the outside corner. And it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes from Tom Schumacher to Connor Doctor. Doctor steps out, moves back in. Schumacher waves off one signal, takes a look. And the 0-2 pitch, swinging a drive towards third on one hop, picked up at third base by Braden Tice. He'll throw over to first base for the out. And out number one recorded as Doctor hits the ball the other way on the ground for out number one of the day. Defensively for the Thompson Post 181 team, left to right in the outfield, Johnny Muse, Jeremy Tyson, Will Welke. Third to first on the infield, Braden Tice, Braden Wolfgram, Eli Gemmel, and Drew Ordenbach. And behind the plate today is Dex Advim for Thompson. And Tom Schumacher, the starting pitcher. One out, nobody on. And it's Walker McGillis that will come to the plate for Mayport. And McGillis will take one low for a ball. Our umpires for today's matchup: behind the plate, Ryan Ingman. And on the bases will be Mark Rarick. And a couple of good ones out there officiating today. The 1-0 pitch has popped up towards right field shallow. Coming on is Will Welke. And Welke will step in and make the catch for out number 2. So McGillis flies out to Welke for the second out of the game. 2 up, 2 down. And with nothing doing for Mayport CG on the base paths, it's up to Sawyer McGillis to try to extend the top of the first inning. Good start to the game for Tom Schumacher, as you heard in our pregame report today. Pitched a lot of big innings in the high school season for Post 181. And goes as the Game 1 starter for the Legion season. Curveball for a strike on the outside corner. Remember Tom Schumacher when he was a young pitcher for Thompson. Didn't have quite the same velocity. He's really grown into his pitching performance. The 0-1 pitch, fastball just above the belt for a ball. Count will go to a ball and a strike. He was utilized as a pitcher early in his career, but was one of those situations, as he delivers low for a ball, where you were probably going to have to get some ground ball outs. He wasn't willing to, or rather really ready, physically ready to go beat somebody with a fastball, but a little different frame. He's really developed athletically for Thompson. The 2-1 pitch on the way to McGillis. Got him inside. It hit him. Maybe got the jersey. It didn't look like McGillis was shaken up too badly by the contact. But a hit batsman will put a runner on for Mayport CG. And a 2-out base runner will bring Caden Hogfuss to the plate as Ryan Ingeman runs a baseball out to Tom Schumacher. And Schumacher kind of looks up and grimaces a little bit as to how the inning has been extended. Hogfuss will step in, the catcher for Mayport CG, and we'll see what the Patriots are thinking about on the base pass. Swinging a ground ball towards third. That's a base hit. On to second goes McGillis, and Caden Hogfuss has the first hit of the game. So after 2 outs retired quickly, hit batsman and a single has given Mayport the opportunity to do some base running. And we'll see a substitution coming in now for Mayport as well. We'll see a courtesy runner. Carter Anderson is going to come in and run for Hogfuss, who is the catcher. You're playing with the high school rules here at this level, so re-entry, part of the deal. You can bat for anybody in the lineup, part of the deal, and you can courtesy run also. With 2 runners aboard, a fastball's high to Easton Hansen, and it's a ball and no strikes for the DH for Mayport. No score here in the top of the first inning. Started quietly, 2 outs right away and a ground ball and a pop-out, but since then, a hit batsman and a base hit, a single, have put him on at first and second for Mayville. Swinging a foul ball sent out to the parking lot. And our videographer, Jacob Lindeman, takes a nervous look out to where he parked. He got here and asked, I parked over there, is that okay? And we're like, sure, it's great. And right away in the top of the first inning, a ball starts zeroing in on his part of the parking lot. A ball and a strike. Hansen at the plate waiting. The 1-1 is a curveball in the turf, knocked down. Runners attempting to move up. Advim throws to third, not going to be in time. Runners will advance on a wild pitch. And so now Mayport has runners on second and third with 2 outs. All started so quietly, and it's turned into a 2-ball, 1-strike count to Easton Hansen with 2 aboard in scoring position for Mayport CG. Schumacher out of the windup fires, swinging a ground ball foul down the third base line. That'll push the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, as adventuresome as it's been, Schumacher a strike away from trying to get out of the inning. Sunny skies, 83 degrees officially in Thompson as we get this one started today. Kind of overcast early, a little humid, but it's turned into a really nice summer night for baseball. Schumacher looking in. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball, Hansen checked his swing. Long lean out in front of the plate. Advim behind the plate wants help but can't get it with our base umpire Mark Rarick out on the base paths in a tough spot. And so now a payoff pitch on the way. Fastball grounded left side. Gobbled up at the shortstop, Braden Wolfgram. His throw across the diamond in time. Tough defensive play. Wolfgram had to knock it down. Didn't field it cleanly, but he gets Hansen going down the first base line. And after a hit batsman and a base hit and a threatening opportunity, Mayville's turned away their half of the first. No runs, a hit, 2 left. We played a half. Your score, Mayport CG, nothing. Thompson coming to bat. This is our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Add a pop of color and excitement to your next celebration with Balloons by Misty. Their one-of-a-kind balloon design skills and creativity will make your event unforgettable. It's always a party at Balloons by Misty. Visit balloonsbymisty.com today.
Residents of the Midwest are known for being self-starters and getting the job done. But when it comes to electrical work, it's best to call a professional. Hi, this is Steve from Bergstrom Electric. It's true that there's a certain glory to accomplishing a task on your own, but it's our experience that not only will save you time, but also the headaches that go along with home improvement projects. A simple phone call to Bergstrom Electric can make all the difference. At Bergstrom Electric, the light does shine brighter.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer. Welcome back to our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales, Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. We make our way to the bottom of the first. Starting lineup for Thompson is brought to you by Franson Bank and Trust. Real people, real results, fransonbank.com. Leading off is catcher Dex Advem, batting second, shortstop Braden Wolfgram. Batting third is the pitcher Tom Schumacher, and Will Welke will clean up in right field. Batting fifth is Drew Odenbach at first base. Johnny Muse will bat sixth in left field. Jeremy Tice bats seventh in center. Caden Loyland, the designated hitter, will bat eighth, and Eli Gemmel will bat ninth at second base, and they'll take on Connor Doctor, who gets the start for Mayport CG here this afternoon. Advem steps to the plate, and the opening pitch from Doctor, swinging a ground ball foul. Advem was all over that. That is an aggressive first swing. First pitch that he sees, a fastball in a hittable area for him, and he went right after it. No balls and a strike from Connor Doctor to Dex Advem. And the 0-1 pitch on the way. Here's a drive to right field, shallow. Gunnar Beck coming on, nearly floats over his head. That one caught the wind a little bit as he got out into right field. That wind is blowing out deceptively towards right field today, but good adjustment by Beck in right field to make the catch, and Advem will fly out to right for the opening out of the inning. Starting lineup brought to you by Franson Bank and Trust. Real people, real results. FransonBank.com. Braden Wolfgram will come to the plate for Thompson. Wolfgram, the shortstop for Post 181 this afternoon. Connor Doctor takes a look in and delivers. Fastball grounded just foul down the third base line. Takes a hop to the left. And it'll be no balls and a strike on Braden Wolfgram. Ball comes back in. No balls and a strike. Again, a busy week for Thompson this week. Off to Langdon tomorrow. And then back here against Park River, and that should be a great matchup coming up on Thursday. The 0-1 pitch. That one caught for a strike on the outside corner. No balls and two strikes on Wolfgram. Two teams that were in the state tournament this past season in high school, meeting here on Thursday. The 0-2 pitch, curveball. Wolfgram stays with it, flares it out to center field, and that'll drop for a base hit. That's a nice piece of hitting for Braden Wolfgram. Ball was down. Curveball kind of got his wrists to move after it, and he was able to stay with it, just guiding the bat through the strike zone, and ends up shoveling a ball out into shallow center field for the first hit of the game for Thompson. So a one-out base runner for the Tommies, and Tom Schumacher will come to the plate. Some of the things that we've seen this guy do at shortstop have just been incredible the last couple of years. Move over to first base that will chase Wolfgram back to the bag. Just an excellent baseball player. Great athlete, but he can sit right on top of it and play shortstop and do a lot of different things for this Thompson team. Doctor sets and delivers high for ball one. In the pregame conversation we had tonight, Nate Solis telling us that Tom Schumacher is about to make his way to the University of Minnesota Crookston. Play Division II baseball. The 1-0 pitch, little drive towards second base. This will pop past Aiden Arsvold out into right field for a base hit for Schumacher. And runners are aboard at first and second. So a pair of runners on for Thompson here in the top of the first, rather bottom of the first. No score in the matchup, but now we see runners on first and second, and Will Welke coming to the plate. And big opportunity here as we take a look at our game fuel brought to you by Circle K. These two men back-to-back are two players to watch for Thompson, Thomas Schumacher and Will Welke. Mayport CG, Sawyer McGillis, Alex Arsvold, a couple of athletes that have been around for a while to watch. But this is a big part of the order here for Thompson with Welke at the plate. He'll watch one bounce in front of the plate for ball one. So a ball and no strikes on Will Welke, the right fielder. We're scoreless on our all-true scoreboard here in the bottom of the first inning. Runners their leads from first and second. A set by Doctor, checking the runner Wolfgram at second. Fastball misses inside on Welke. Count's going to go to 2 balls and no strikes, and now Caden Hockfuss, the catcher from Mayport, wants time to go out and consult with pitcher Connor Doctor. I would not expect Thompson to be bunting in this situation with a pair of runners on and one out, but it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to try to move those runners along. But with your cleanup hitter at the plate, boy, it seems like you'd really want the opportunity to swing the bat in this situation. A set by Doctor. Look back at second, pickoff move. That's what they were talking about back at second base, or actually out on the pitcher's mound. And a little bit of a deke play that very likely was indicated at the plate by catcher Caden Hogfuss. More and more defenses are doing that now, where they like to twist things up with the catcher calling for the pickoff move. That time you had a shortstop that made it known he was not holding the runner. Second baseman coming over, and a 2-0 pitch slices out to the parking lot. That'll make it 2 balls and a strike. But on the previous play, you've got a shortstop that makes it very well known, because he's in the field of vision, that he's not covering a runner. And then on the back side of that, the second baseman comes in to take the pickoff move, and that's where the deception comes in. A set by Doctor. He'll deliver 2-1 to Will Welke. The 2-1 pitch, check swing, missed low. And it's now 3 balls and a strike to Will Welke, and some dangerous times here for Mayport in the bottom of the first. No score, Thompson threatening with 1 out. And cleanup hitter Will Welke is at the plate. Doctor sets, 3-1 pitch. Down low, ball 4. That's going to load him up. First free pass of the game issued by Connor Doctor. Welke stands in, takes the free pass. And with the bases loaded and 1 out, Drew Odenbach will come to the plate. Well, you know what they say, if you've seen one Odenbach, you've seen them all. They're all 6 feet 7 inches tall. They all basically have the same athletic frame. The difference between Drew and the previous Odenbachs, this one's right-handed. The others were left-handed. But Drew Odenbach, a 6'7" frame, that's a great frame to throw to over at first base. I mean, that's a nice target. And he's got long arms and legs. I mean, he can really cover a lot of ground. He'll bat with the bases loaded, and the pitch on the way from Doctor's high for ball 1. Braden Wolfgram at third, Tom Schumacher at second, Will Welke at first. They're loaded with Tommies in the bottom of the first inning. Doctor taking a look in for a sign. He's got it. He'll set right at the buckle. And the 1-0 pitch. Shot up the middle for a base hit. Hard shot coming in. 1 run will score. They're going to play station to station. Wolfgram comes in to score. They've got a runner hung up between second and third. Diving back to second base will be Will Welke. Everyone advances. Wolfgram scores on an RBI single from Drew Odenbach. And it's 1-0 in favor of Thompson. Thread continues as Johnny Muse, the left fielder, will come to the plate for Thompson. And Muse will bat with the bases loaded, 1 in. And the threat's still there for Thompson offensively. Doctor is set. Pitch on the way is high, and the count is a ball and no strikes. Our keys to the game brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center. Thompson's already found it, obviously being their identity. Pitching, defense, but then jumping offensively early. You want to find that nice roll as you dive back into a new season. Start swinging the bat with some confidence. And they've done that here in the first inning. Fastball misses high to Muse. 3 hits in the inning for Thompson. And a couple of them to center field. 2 balls, no strikes on Johnny Muse. Schumacher at third, Welke at second. Odenbach at first. And the 2-0 pitch. Breaking pitch called for a strike, top of the zone on Johnny Muse. That brings the count to 2 balls and a strike on Johnny Muse. Bottom half of the order now, moving into the number 6 man here. Doctor checks the runner at first, looks back at second. Going to make a move over to first. And a bit of an awkward move. First baseman Walker McGillis was in towards the grass, not really holding the runner. Runners lead away again. And the 2-1 pitch. Breaking pitch up high, and it's 3 balls and a strike. Well, this is where you start to get a little concerned for Connor Doctor. It's been a long inning already. There's no place to put Johnny Muse with the bases loaded. Things could go downhill quickly. Got to deliver a strike here at 3 balls and a strike. 3-1 pitch. That one missed outside low for ball 4. It'll walk in a run. Schumacher will come in from third. Odenbach to second. Johnny Muse with a second free pass issued by Connor Doctor in the inning. And it's 2-0 in favor of the Tommies on our All-True scoreboard. Scoreboard updates brought to you by All-True. Regular screenings with All-True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. 2-0 Thompson. And Jeremy Tice will come to the plate with the bases still loaded. The center fielder for post 181. Fastball caught the belt for a strike on the outside corner. And the count, no balls and a strike on Jeremy Tice. Good speed here from the center fielder, running back for the Thompson football team. So anything that dribbles on the infield, going to be a tough play here for Mayport. The 0-1 pitch to Tice, swinging a flare to center field, shallow. Bricker Johnson coming on. It's going to fall for a base hit. Tough play all the way around. No chance for anyone to get there. Will Welke will come home to score, station to station again. It's an RBI single for Jeremy Tice. And that makes it 3-0 in favor of Thompson here in the top of the first inning. Caden Loyland, the designated hitter, will come to the plate now for post 181. Runners away from every base again. Odenbach from third, Muse from second, Tice from first. Doctor sets and delivers to Loyland. It's up high for a ball. And the count, a ball and no strikes on Caden Loyland, the designated hitter. Still just one out in the inning. A look in, the 1-0 pitch. Hard shot down the right field line. That will drop for a base hit, and it's going to evade the defensive player and make its way all the way into the corner. 2 runs have scored. They'll hold up Jeremy Tice at third. Kalen Loyland comes up with an RBI double, and Thompson will take a 5-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Let's take a look at it again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay, and this is just a rope that ends up making its way into the right field corner. Hard shot down the right field line, and Gunnar Beck, trying to come over, was unable to cut it off. That's what allowed it to roll into the corner, and that's what turned it into the play that it was. And Thompson takes a 5-0 lead. And runners still at second and third with 1 out, and this is going to bring a conversation out to the pitcher's mound now for Mayport CG, but Thompson has jumped on Mayport with 5 here in the first inning. Go back to those keys to the game that we had for you again, brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. And when we talked about Thompson jumping on Mayville offensively, that was an important part of this to get some momentum going for the season. They certainly have. For Mayport, they need that early momentum. They had a little bit of that going in the top of the first after they got a couple of base runners and then making the big play, but the big play in that situation might have been catching a line drive down that first base line or something along those lines. A diving catch in the outfield to take away a runner. Instead, Thompson has just capitalized all the way through. Keys to the game brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. It's always hockey season in the Grand Forks area. They're ready for you. Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Here's a flare off the bat of Eli Gemmel to right field. Looks to be enough to be caught, and we'll see if it's enough to tag. Runner moving from third. Jeremy Tice comes in to score. Moving up behind the play is Caden Loyland. He'll go to third base, tagging up there, and it's 6-0 in favor of Thompson. So Eli Gemmel will drive in a run with a sacrifice fly to right field for out number 2. And we'll move over a column in the scorebook as 6 have scored and now 10 have batted, with Dex Advem coming to the plate, the leadoff batter, who flew out to right field to start the inning. A set by Doctor, and the pitch on the way to Advem. Fastball for a strike. 0-1 on Advem. Well, with the big lead, Tom Schumacher a big part of the plans this week for Thompson. You wonder what Nate Solis will do as far as the pitching position is concerned as a pitch misses high. You're obviously on a pitch count, but 2 counters with Langdon coming up on Wednesday and another counter with Park River on Thursday. And if you keep Schumacher around for later games this week, you'd probably like to do so. The 1-1 curveball for a strike on the outside corner to Advem. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. So 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dex Advem. A set, a look in towards the plate. The 1-2 on the way, breaking pitch high. Count will level up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. But one thing that Nate Solis told us in the pregame report, they've got options. They feel like this team has got a lot of arms that can do some pitching. A look in by Doctor, the 2-2. Fastball grounded to short. Sawyer McGillis has got it. He'll throw across the diamond for the out, and Dex Advem will ground out to shortstop for out number 3. But the damage is done for Thompson. They'll come up with 6 runs on 5 hits and leave 1, and we've played an inning full. And your score here in Thompson, Post 181-6 and Mayport CG nothing. This is our coverage of Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network at KNOX Live Sports.
Since 1972, Jarrell's Sports Center and Hockey World has provided year-round sporting goods, apparel, and of course, hockey equipment and training tools. You'll also find they have a state-of-the-art skate sharpening machine to give you the edge you need. For anything sports, stop into Jarrell's and Hockey World.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Your local Circle K and Holiday Station stores are proud to support high school activities. Stop by the new Circle K location at 1316 South Washington Street for not only gas, but a wide array of hot and cold food, snacks for everyone, and a car wash. Open 24/7, 7 days a week.
Welcome back to our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Our changeovers are brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. And they're brought to you as well by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround promotional shop, family owned in Grand Forks. Tom Schumacher will go out there for another inning of work after Thompson spots him 6 runs in the opening inning. Couple of walks helping out the big play, the Caden Loyland double out of the number 8 spot, ropes one down the right field line, takes advantage of a hole in the defense, and drives in a pair. And Thompson did the damage they needed to in the bottom half of the first inning. We'll go to the second, and Alex Arsvold will come to the plate for Mayville to lead things off here in the top of the second. Tom Schumacher back out there for his second inning of work. Schumacher takes a look in and delivers. Fastball high and away, and it's a ball and no strikes. If memory serves, it's either 40 or 45 pitches that you can throw before you've got to sit a day. Fastball for a strike. Count goes to a ball and a strike. And if Coach Nate Solis has his pitching lineup put together for tomorrow with the 2 against Langdon, get a day of rest for Schumacher. Fastball called for a strike in the outside corner, and then if you kept him to 45 pitches in this game, maybe be able to throw him again against Park River on Thursday. If you decided to do that, and there's a lot of baseball left to go, but a lot of things start popping up in your mind. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. Pitch is caught behind the plate, says home plate umpire Ryan Ingeman. Alex Arsvold waves at 1 for the first strikeout for Schumacher today. And with 1 out and nobody aboard, Sam Weaver will come to the plate. Weaver's the left fielder, and the pitch from Schumacher brushes him back inside. It's a ball and no strikes on Weaver. A look in by Schumacher, the 1-0 delivery. Swinging a flare, twisting foul on the right side, and that will go down in foul territory. They still play, I'm not sure what the ground rules are. I'm going to assume they haven't changed here in Thompson since back in my days of umpiring, but if that ball goes into the turtle down the right field line, you go get it. This field lays out in such an interesting way because it's also the football field and the school is the fence. Swinging a ground ball up the middle. This may evade everybody at will for a base hit for Sam Weaver. So Weaver has a 1-out base hit for Mayport, and Aiden Arsvold will come to the plate. One of the best lines I heard was during a tournament here in Thompson, and Park River was in the first base dugout for that game. They may have been playing Shiloh Christian. Set by Tom Schumacher as he gets ready to deliver to Arsvold. Pitches high. Runner hung up, back pick to first base, and tag applied. Odenbach held the tag on a diving Sam Weaver, but Weaver was able to hold the bag. But a home run was hit on top of the school in left field, and I believe it was Easton Beneda that was in the dugout for Park River that said, who put a school on top of the baseball field? It didn't really work that way. The school was here first. 1-0 pitch on the way. That one called low for a ball. Count will go to 2 balls and no strikes. Schumacher wanted that one. 1-out base runner is Sam Weaver at first base for Mayville. 6-0 Thompson after an inning. A set by Schumacher, 2-0 pitch. Bunted, and it's popped in the air. Easy catch for Dex Advim behind the plate. Advim smooth as well. Got the ball out of his glove and was looking to pick at second, or actually at first immediately. But Arsvold will pop out trying to lay down a bunt. And 2 are away now as Mayville will bring Bricker Johnson to the plate. Johnson, the center fielder for Mayville. Weaver leads away from first. Schumacher sets and checks him. And the pitch called for a strike. Right down to the bottom of the zone around the knees. And the count will go to no balls and a strike. Weaver away from first. Johnson stands ready. Set by Schumacher. The 0-1 pitch out in front of a changeup. Count will go to no balls and 2 strikes. Schumacher made that look good. Great motion to the plate, but took a lot of velocity off of that and had Johnson out in front. No balls, 2 strikes. Schumacher shakes off a couple of signs. Will come set. And the 0-2, a runner goes, and the pitch is hit foul off the body of Johnson in the box. Out on his front foot again was Bricker, trying to find the timing on Schumacher's pitches, but was able to hold the swing in enough to get a piece of it and keep himself alive in the at-bat. A set by Schumacher, and this time a move over to first base. Odenbach applies the tag, but back in safely is Weaver. Probably the hit and run. I'm not sure if they're sending Weaver again here. They could. A set by Schumacher again just above the belt. The 0-2 breaking pitch that hit Bricker Johnson. Second hit batsman that Schumacher's had today. Weaver on to second. And so with runners at first and second, once again, inning starts off with some momentum for Thompson, and then it kind of grinds out. A hit batsman, 2 aboard again with 2 outs, and they flip the order, does Mayville. Back to the top of it, Connor Doctor will come to the plate. Pitch on the way from Schumacher is in the dirt for ball 1. One ball, no strikes on Connor Doctor. 6-0 Thompson on the all-true scoreboard here in the top of the second. 1-0 pitch, fastball high. And the count 2 balls and no strikes. Runners there leads. Schumacher is set. Look back at second base. 2-0 pitch. That's a fastball for a strike. We mentioned that Mayville's already played 13 Legion games, 4-9 on the season. I'm not sure how that number came up. They're only 0-1 in the section, but some tournament play. I think they were involved in the Montgomery tournament this past weekend. A set. Look back at second base. The 2-1 pitch. That one called a strike. Down in the zone for strike 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And you've seen maybe a little bit of patience here from Mayville and some adjustments that maybe they wouldn't have made early in the season, but having that body of work behind them, they're making Tom Schumacher work for some things. A set. Look back at second. 2-2 pitch. Breaking pitch. Nubbed foul towards third. It's going to be a tough play for Braden Tice. Off his back foot to first, not in time. Bases are going to be loaded as an infield hit from a Connor Doctor will load him up for Mayville. That'll bring Walker McGillis to the plate. Just got on top of the baseball, but that's your leadoff hitter. You would expect him to have some pretty good speed, and Connor Doctor had plenty of that. And we'll see Doctor being run for now as well for Mayport CG, as Broden Horde will step in to run for Doctor. So runners at every base for Mayville. Now, no margin of error for Tom Schumacher. He's got to find a way to get an out here on Walker McGillis to keep Mayville off the scoreboard. Schumacher kicks and fires. Curveball misses away for ball 1. One ball, no strikes. Bases loaded for Mayville in the top of the second. McGillis stands ready. Fastball to him, missed outside. Well, now here's a big pitch in the game. If you're McGillis, you think you're probably going to get something good to hit. You don't want to fall behind 3-0 with the bases loaded, so you're probably sitting dead red on a fastball, but also a chance to swing the bat if you so choose. A set by Schumacher, and the 2-0. Ooh, just missed high, ball 3. So 3 balls and no strikes. You can hear below the Mayville dugout yelling at McGillis, don't chase. Now you probably sit back and make Schumacher throw a strike. A set by Schumacher. Pickoff move to second. Runner's in trouble. Good tag applied by the shortstop, Braden Wolfgram. But back in ahead of the tag was Bricker Johnson. 3 balls, no strikes to McGillis with the bases loaded. Schumacher sets. And the 3-0 pitch. Fastball for a strike. Count 3 balls of the strike. McGillis will be sitting looking for one spot again here with the bases still loaded and ahead in the count. Set by Schumacher, 3-1 pitch. Swinging a foul, slice that one back out into the lot. And one more time, Schumacher a strike away from flirting with some adventure here for Thompson, but getting out of the inning unscathed. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners will jump from every base. McGillis stands ready. A set by Schumacher. The 3-2 curveball. McGillis sends it up the middle. It's be gloved by Tice. He'll throw across the diamond. Actually, Wolfgram rather at short for the out. He'll get McGillis. Another nervous moment for the Thompson defense as Mayville threatens, but once again, they failed to score. No runs on a pair of hits, and Mayville leaves them loaded in the second. We played an inning and a half. Your score on the All-True scoreboard remains Thompson 6 and Mayport CG nothing. This is our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
ProAg in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything ProAg has to offer.
You've been waiting for a chance to do something that matters, something big without a big price tag. Welcome to Northland Community and Technical College. Here you can have a big impact on a small campus, in classrooms that mirror today's workplace, with instructors who teach from experience and know you by name. You've been waiting for a place like this. Are you ready?
Welcome back to our coverage of American Legion Baseball. We go to the bottom of the second inning, and your score is Thompson 6 and Mayport CG nothing, as the Tommies will come back to the plate.
2-4-2.
And Thompson will send up Braden Wolfgram to lead things off. Tom Schumacher, Will Welke due up to face Connor Doctor, who goes into his second inning of work. And Doctor delivers. Pitch for a ball, and the count will go to a ball and no strikes on Wolfgram. Mayville's left 5 runners on base in their first 2 at-bats today. They will take a look back at this one in the young team as a pitch is called for a strike on Wolfgram. We'll be talking about some missed opportunities. That'll kind of be the way that these first couple of innings will be framed up. You want to make sure that you come up with that big play in that situation, and we talked about that in our keys the game. As a pitch misses low on Wolfgram for a ball, and the count goes to 2-1. Keys the game brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center again. Mayport CG making that big play, and sometimes that happens offensively. And bases loaded, you want to come up with something there. Is a swing and a ground ball that bops past Alex Arsvold at third, and Wolfgram will find his way to first base. I'm assuming they'll rule that a base hit. They're generous scorers here in Thompson. And Wolfgram with his second hit. After all, you can give somebody an error, you can give somebody their second hit of the game and really elevate that batting average. Why not do it that way? That's the nice way to go about doing it, right? So, with a one out, actually a leadoff base runner, Tom Schumacher will come to the plate for Thompson. Singled and scored back in the first inning. The pitcher of record for Thompson so far today. Doctor will make a move over to first base, and back is Wolfgram a little nonchalantly over at first. And I think Coach Advem might have mentioned a little something about that. If you're going to get back that tight, you might want to get back down. Pitch to Schumacher, swinging a ground ball to short, and that one pops over the glove of shortstop Sawyer McGillis, trickles out into shallow center field. That one you probably have to rule an error. I think that hit him in the glove. as it went through. And Schumacher's going to reach by way of an error on the shortstop. But there's also a little something to talk about. We've seen a lot of high hops on that left side of the infield today against both Thompson and Mayport CG's defense. A little something different about the dirt over there that's causing some challenges for the left side of the infield. But 2 aboard with nobody out, and Will Welke, who walked his first time up, will come to the plate. Welke takes one high for ball 1. Thompson leading 6-0 on our all-true scoreboard and batting here in the bottom of the second, setting the table early in their first District 6 game of the year. A look back, 1-0 pitch. Hard shot, third base side. That's a base hit ripped towards the corner. It'll bring home a run. They're waving around Braden Wolfgram. He will score, and Thompson will take a 7-0 lead. Solid piece of batting once again. The American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Just a quick turn on a baseball, and that one's hard into left field at that point. Deep into the corner. It was a nice job of cutting it off by Sam Weaver. That ball had some pace to it. Could have very easily beat him to the corner, but Welke with a solid single. And 2 are aboard with another run in, and it's 7-0 in favor of Thompson. And we'll see Drew Odenbach taking a pitch down low for ball 1. So a ball and no strikes for Drew Odenbach with runners from first and second. Odenbach singled his first time up. Take a curveball for a strike. I hear him saying down low, let's go Odie. Now I got to ask, does every Odenbach that comes through the program get Odie as a nickname? I think that's something to live up to. Here's a swing and a ground ball left side. That's a base hit into left field. Station to station once again. Hard shot into left. Not a lot of room to operate out there. The return throw gets by the cutoff man in the infield. A little bit of a deke at third base by Schumacher, but he'll hold up there. And Drew Odenbach has his second base hit of the game. So the bases are loaded for Thompson in the bottom of the second inning. And Johnny Muse will come to the plate for Thompson. Chance for an early knockout blow, and Mayport will bring the infield in with the bases loaded, looking for a play at the plate. Doctor delivers, swinging a number foul to the left side, and it's no balls and a strike. Johnny Muse walked his last time up. Braden Wolfgram started a run of 6 consecutive Tommy scoring and 7 post 181 batters, 7 reaching safely. And he led off the inning. A strike taken by Johnny Muse. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. 1 in the inning. Schumacher at third, Welke at second, Odenbach at first base. It's been 3 hits and an error for Mayport CG. The 0-2 high. Count as a ball and 2 strikes on Muse. We'll be back out here again on Thursday when Thompson faces Park River. That'll be a nice matchup coming up on Thursday between 2 teams that were in the state tournament this past spring. The 1-2 curveball froze him, just missed. Connor Doctor thought he had strike 3. That was a tough curveball. Johnny Muse held up on it. And Connor Doctor made it very close. Even count, 2-2, the 2-2 pitch. Up high. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes. Doctor, a long look in. That pitch was up. Might have a little something to say about the previous one, but you're not going to get another one to come in just as an even up call at that point. Payoff pitch on the way. Curveball. Got him on the outside corner, strike 3. Well, Johnny Muse probably should have thought that he was living on some borrowed time after that curveball didn't get him at a ball and 2 strikes, and that was the same curveball. And that time he got locked up on it, decided to take it, thought it was ball 4. But that one's not going to get away twice. So, 1 out, base is still loaded. First strikeout of the day for Connor Doctor. And Jeremy Tice at the plate, swings and misses. No balls and a strike on Jeremy Tice. Well, if Thompson loads the bases with 1 in already and doesn't score again, that would be some nice momentum for Mayville going forward, and that's what they're looking for right now. The 0-1 is high and away. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jeremy Tice. Tice singled back in the first. Part of 6 Tommies scoring in the bottom of the first inning. Set by Doctor. The 1-1 pitch. Lifted high in the air, left side, in foul territory. Sam Weaver giving chase, but that one is going to drift out of play. The count will go to a ball and 2 strikes. Well, I sent my son down to the parking lot to shag foul balls, and he went to the wrong side. That one ends up on the other side of the parking lot, on the left side, not the right. He'll chase one down. 1-2 pitch on the way to Tice. Curveball, missed inside. Count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Just looking out there, we got a pretty good crowd there tonight. Oh, did they strike him out? Oh, they struck him out. I didn't see a reaction at the plate. It looked like a strikeout, and it was. Jeremy Tice strikes out for out number 2. Well, my apologies, folks. He stood there. I thought he was going to get another pitch. And so now it's Loyland that comes to the plate, who doubled his last time up, but now there are 2 away. The pitch looked pretty good. I didn't see the call from home plate umpire Ryan Ingeman, and Jeremy Tice kind of stood there like he was going to get another pitch, so I assumed it was a ball. And instead, he was rung up. Swinging a foul ball off the bat of Loyland, and the count will go to a ball and a strike. So, again, a single for Wolfgram to lead things off. 4 reached consecutively, 1 run scored. The bases were loaded with nobody out. And if Mayville can get out of this without further damage, Connor Doctor would have a little momentum going back to the dugout. The 1-1 to Loyland. Here's a hot shot towards short, and it's caught on a line drive by Sawyer McGillis. Loyland will line out to the shortstop for out number 3, and 3 straight go down for Connor Doctor after some damage was hinted at by Thompson. They'll pick up a run on 3 more hits along with an error and leave the bases loaded. We've played 2. New score on the All True scoreboard is Thompson 7, Mayport CG nothing. This is our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Need seed, think Proseed. Proseed.net.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, trade, or rent a trailer, stop into East Grand Forks. GrandTrailersSales.com.
We'll go to the top of the 3rd inning. 7-0 your score. Thompson over Mayport CG as our videographer Jacob Lindemann gets a really pretty shot of that scoreboard out there with the green trees behind it. I mean, if that doesn't make you just get into a baseball mood at that point right there, that's some good work right there. We got a new arm going to the hill for Thompson as the Tommies will send out number 5, Eli Gemmel, that will step in to do the pitching, so we'll have some defensive changes as well. Gemmel was the second baseman. So Eli Gemmel takes over the game with his team on top by a score of 7-0. I'm going to assume at this point that Tom Schumacher will move to shortstop. That is his natural position. And probably Wolfgram going over to second base would be the way that, well, no, it's going to be Tice that goes over to third base. So Braden Tice, or second base. So Braden Tice will move over to second. And we'll see Braden Wolfgram go to third. So a pitching change, and that's what we thought with a big lead. Maybe throw some other arms as Sawyer McGillis leads things off for Mayport and takes one for a strike on the outside corner. So the defensive changes. Eli Gemmel from second to pitch, Tom Schumacher from pitch to short, Braden Wolfgram from short to third, and Braden Tice from third to second. Here's a chopper to short. Tom Schumacher's got it, and that's where a lot of ground balls go to die. Over to first base for the out. Sawyer McGillis will ground out to the shortstop for out number 1 here in the top of the 3rd. Just a tremendous shortstop playing athlete for Thompson. They've been able to build a lot of a defensive effort around him, and when you've got that position taken care of, you feel pretty good about life as Caden Hogfuss will come to the plate for Mayville and take a strike. And the count is no balls and a strike on Caden Hogfuss. Hogfuss singled his first time up. Hogfuss stands ready. The 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Eli Gemmel looks like he's a pretty difficult pitcher to pick up. Sidearm delivery. Good velocity out of a small body. He's slinging it. No balls, 2 strikes. The 0-2 pitch. Hard shot. Third base. Jumping up to make the catch will be third baseman Brady Wolfgram. And Braden Wolfgram comes up with out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for Gemmel. That one was a shot down the line that Mayport's probably going to think to themselves, that one should have been a base hit. But right at a defensive player, and Braden Wolfgram just moving over there goes up to make the catch. Easton Hansen at the plate. Chopper right back to the pitcher, Eli Gemmel. Nice play to defend his position, and Gemmel comes in and promptly shuts down Mayville. 1-2-3 with nothing across, and they're half of the third. We played 2.5. Quick inning, same score. It's 7-0 Thompson on the All-True scoreboard. Our changeovers are brought to you once again by our friends at Big Jim's Tire, the #1 supplier of ag tires in the region, and brought to you by Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround promotional goods store, family-owned in Grand Forks. This is our coverage of Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Picture yourself at Lake Region State College. With faculty and staff here to help you succeed, we know you by name. Picture your success as you get hands-on ready for the workforce or transfer on to earn your bachelor's degree. Lake Region State College. We change lives.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
Our middle innings that we have for you today as we make our way towards the bottom of the third, brought to you by by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. That's what I was trying to say. The Men of Steel. Grand Forks Welding Machine is ready for all those repairs that come up during the course of your ag season. If you break a shaft, you have a hole that needs tightening, they've got you covered at Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, 1812 Gateway Drive. And our middle innings brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. Get a system from High Plains Water. Enjoy better tasting tap water. Get the chemicals out. Get the taste in. Cleaner laundry with less detergent. Appliances that will last longer. All advantages with the system from High Plains Water in Grand Forks. Eli Gemmel, the new pitcher, leads things off for Thompson. Swings and misses at a delivery from Connor Doctor. And the count is no balls and a strike on Gemmel. It'll be Gemmel then back to the top of the order. Dex Advem. Braden Wolfgram. Doctor delivers 0-1. Curveball misses low. Well, Doctor pitched himself out of trouble, gave up a run in the last inning, but 4 reached consecutively. The bases were loaded with nobody out for Thompson. They failed to score after that. 1-1 to Gemmel, swinging a ground ball towards short, charged by McGillis. He's got it cleanly. And over to first base to get Gemmel, 6-3 on the out. That was a good piece of momentum for Connor Doctor to step into that situation and find himself in some trouble. Bases loaded, nobody out, and he was able to get 2 strikeouts and a line out to the shortstop to keep Thompson at bay. He's now shut down 4 in a row as Dex Advem will come to the plate for for post 181. Force of habit, folks. And here's a laced shot towards Mark Rarick, the first base umpire. Welcome back to umpiring, Mark. He jumps out of the way. Mark was an umpire in the area for a while and then stepped away from it for a couple of years, and he's been lured back in. The 0-1 pitch, ground ball chopped up the middle, long run to get to it for Arsvold, the second baseman. He steps and fires and got the out. Beats Dex Advem down the first base line. Advem giving it a good charge. Good play by Aiden Arsvold, the second baseman for Mayport, to get over and make the play. And 2 up, 2 down. That's 5 in a row that Connor Doctor has retired. And now Braden Wolfgram coming to the plate. Pair of singles, pair of runs scored for Wolfgram today. 7-0 Thompson on the All-True scoreboard here in the bottom of the third. Wolfgram ready in the pitch. Breaking pitch misses low for ball 1. Game not quite an hour old. We got started at 4:58. We're 52 minutes into this one today. in the bottom of the third. Maybe a little bit of a lag, but there's been a lot of runners until this third inning. 1-0 pitch from Doctor. Fastball for a strike. Thompson left 4 on, including stranding the bases loaded in the second. That was between the first and second. And Mayville stranded 5, including the bases loaded in the second as well. 1-1 pitch. Curveball misses low. The count goes to 2 balls and a strike. Coming up a little bit later in the game here, we'll talk about Grand Forks Post 6, the Royals. Believe away from home for most of the week this week. And a light schedule. 2-1 pitch misses away. Count goes to 3 balls and a strike. They usually make a trip down to Omaha. Not sure if they're making that trip this year, but we'll dial in their schedule and see what that looks like. 3-1 pitch to Wolfgram. Here's a swing and a foul. Back out of play. And the count's now full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. A look and the 3-2 pitch to Wolfgram. Got him on the inside corner, strike 3, breaking pitch. Wolfgram knew it. He started walking towards the dugout as soon as that one was caught. And that's 6 in a row that's been sent down by Connor Doctor, to include a 1-2-3 inning for Thompson. And they're half of the third, nothing across. We've played 3 full. Same score on the All-True scoreboard. Thompson 7, Mayport CG nothing. This is our coverage of Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with Harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
We go to the top of the fourth. It's still 7-0 Thompson in favor of Mayport Clifford Galesburg here in Thompson tonight. Eli Gemmel going back out to the hill for another inning of work. For Thompson, post 181. For those of you that are on our web stream with us, we got a little lazy in the last half inning. I don't think we put the outs up there. I don't think we even changed the inning. We just kind of got into this flow where everybody was getting out. And you were looking for some rhythm after those first couple of innings of play. We had a lot going on in those first couple of innings here today. And so now we'll see if we can't settle in and find a little bit more momentum. As stepping to the plate is Alex Arsvold for Mayport CG. He'll take one out of the zone. It's Arsvold, Sam Weaver, Aiden Arsvold that'll do up. A set by Eli Gemmel, the 1-0 pitch. That one called a strike. Tomorrow night, post 6. We'll play in Omaha. That's why we don't have any Grand Forks Legion baseball for you this week. 1-1 pitch, called a strike. As they will play in the Battle of Omaha, opponent to be determined. And then that's it until the 24th. They may have some more games down in Omaha. 1-2 pitch, swinging a chopper right back to Gemmel. And Eli Gemmel's been good since coming into the game. Gemmel records the first out of the top of the fourth inning as Arsvold grounds out to him for the first down. Next matchup will be Tuesday, a week from tonight, when Post 2 comes to town to take on Grand Forks. And then they'll play War Road the next night. We'll have Post 2 for you on KNOX Live Sports. Sam Weaver comes to the plate, takes a pitch for a strike. You can join us for that in Grand Forks coming up on Tuesday night next week. And we'll be back out here in Thompson on Thursday when Post 181 entertains Park River. The 0-1 to Sam Weaver, called a strike. And Eli Gemmel's been on it since coming into the third. Gemmel came in the third inning, got a 1-2-3 inning, been throwing a lot of strikes. Some defense behind him that's helped out. The 0-2 pitch, little chopper towards right field, and that will fall for a base hit. Took a funny hop out and right as well. Will Welke's up with it, but Sam Weaver kind of chopping at one up in the zone, has a base hit, the first allowed by Gemmel here today. So with 7-0 your score, Mayville puts a runner aboard, and Aiden Arsvold will come to the plate. Arsvold steps in, popped up to the catcher on a bunt attempt that went up in the air his last time up. He'll take one high for ball one. Weaver will step away from first base. Arsvold takes a look that way. 1-0 pitch. That one called a strike just above the belt. Count 1 ball, 1 strike on Arsvold. First District 6 game of the year for Thompson. 1-1 pitch, swinging a foul. And I'm a little confused because taking a look at the District 6 standings, Langdon was not included in them, and neither was Park River. And I'm wondering if that information that we had might have been outdated, maybe the high school information. Here's a strike on the outside corner. Strike 3 called as Aiden Arsvold will take one for a strike for the second out. Because Langdon is supposed to be a pair of counters coming up tomorrow night, and then Park River coming to town a league game, but neither of those teams were in the standings that we had a look at. So not sure what the situation is. Swinging a chopper, comes out into foul territory, barehanded by Advem on to first for the out. Really nice play by the young catcher as Dex Advem comes out from behind the plate to get Bricker Johnson at first base. 2-3 for the putout. Boy, look at that one again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This is not an easy play. You've got a young catcher. Advem comes up, barehands the baseball, and gets it over to first base in time for the out. That's great camera work by Jacob Lindemann tonight as well to bring you that replay, and that's going to retire the side. No runs on a hit, 1 left on. We've played 3.5 halfway home here in Thompson. Your scores, the Tommy 7, Mayport CG nothing. This is our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, no matter what the size, PS Doors offers the proper service for you. Get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Welcome back to our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. We will go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Thompson leading 7-0 over Mayport CG. Tom Schumacher, Will Welke, and Drew Odenbach will come to the plate. 3, 4, and 5 in the lineup to take on Connor Doctor, who will move into his 4th inning of work tonight for Mayport and is settled in as of late. Schumacher stands ready and will take one high for a ball. Rough first inning for Connor Doctor. 7 reached safely in succession rather. Caden Loyland with a big RBI double, 2 RBIs. Here's Schumacher swinging and driving one to right field, and that's up and over. Gunnar Beck's head and all the way to the wall. Schumacher digging around first. He's going to hold up at second. Good decision that's made there by Coach Nate Solis. As Tom Schumacher, pretty valuable athlete. No reason to risk an injury with Schumacher trying to dive into third for a triple in a game that you're leading 7-0. So Tom Schumacher held up at second base with a double. And Schumacher will stand in scoring position as Will Welke will come to the plate. First man to reach in a while for Thompson. 6 in a row were put down by Connor Doctor after Thompson loaded the bases, scoring a run and had the bases loaded with nobody out in the second. But Doctor was able to get 2 strikeouts, a line out, worked a perfect third, and had set down 6 in a row until Schumacher's double. Welke stands at the plate. Pitches low, and the count is a ball and no strikes. Something that, I don't know, maybe we're picking up on something that isn't there, but it seems like the outfielders have had a hard time reading the angles tonight. And I'm not sure if the park does that or if it's just the lack of experience playing here where you don't really read the angle. Well, we can talk more about that. Welke stands ready, the 1-0's in the turf. That one's going to get behind Caden Hogvis, and Schumacher will move up to third on a wild pitch. We've seen a couple of times where balls have been near beating or beating outfielders, and you know, you take a look at Bricker Johnson, and I don't know that Bricker realizes that he's playing in quite shallow in center field. Now, he looked back behind him, and you see there's a lot of room back there, but the wind is also blowing out. Pitch called for a strike. You get fooled into thinking that, well, that's the football field. You can't go back there too deep, and it's hard to get a read on really where a fence would be, and that right field angle is a really small one. It's not a particularly deep ballpark to right field. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, hit foul, back out into the parking lot. The count again goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. But, I mean, that ball to Gunnar Beck, he came in on it, which obviously you don't do. You want to go back on a ball in the air first before you come in. But that was to the fence really quickly, and they've actually moved that fence back in right field to accommodate some depth that way. 2-2 to Welke is high, and the count's full. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Will Welke. A walk and a single and a run scored for Welke. He's 1 for 1 tonight. 7-0 Thompson, threatening here in the bottom of the 4th. Doctor delivers 3-2. Chopped back to the pitcher. Bobbled a bit by Doctor. Quick throw to first base. Threw the first baseman off the bag. Welke beats it out, and that'll be an error. That'll be charged to Connor Doctor. Second error of the game for Mayport. And Drew Udenbach will come to the plate now with runners on the corners for Thompson. And nobody out. Udenbach 2 for 2 with a pair of singles tonight. 7-0 Thompson here in the 4th, and beginning to press the issue now in the bottom half of the inning. 10-run rule in effect. It's a lean game. They would need 3 and a hold. And the pitch on the way to Odenbach. Hard shot, left side, base hit. Odenbach again stepping up and delivering. And that'll make it an 8-0 lead in favor of Thompson as Schumacher scores easily from third. Odenbach getting the first pitch in his wheelhouse. We take a look at it again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. And Odenbach just a hard shot that rockets off his bat and out into right field. No chance for anybody to pick that one up. And Odenbach has a 3 for 3 night. Replays brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent. It's 8-0 Thompson. And 2 aboard with nobody out. Bunt is shown and laid down the line beautifully. Tice is going to reach first base safely. Everybody will be safe. Correction, Johnny Muse will come up with a bunt down the third baseline that no one can get to. Muse has an infield hit. The bases are loaded. So the bases are loaded. Nobody out in the inning. Thompson leading 8-0, and Jeremy Tice will come to the plate, a single and a strikeout so far tonight. Infield back in at the plate, looking for a play. Swinging a ground ball, left side, base hit into left field. They'll play station to station. Scoring will be Welke. Bases remain loaded, and Thompson has a 9-0 advantage. Still nobody out. And the odds very high here that Thompson will go back out into the top of the 5th with a 10-run lead. They need to score one more time here in the inning to have that opportunity. And a swing and a hot shot towards the turtle in the right field corner. That bounced off the turtle, off the fence, and out to the football bleachers off the bat of Caden Loyland. Boy, where'd this guy come from? The designated hitter. He's been roping the ball all night long, batting down the number 8 spot. The 0-1 pitch. Curveball hit foul. That time he yanked his head. And the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. So I'm told by Craig Keating, my broadcast colleague, that the district is Thompson, Mayport, Hillsboro, Hatton, Northwood, and Gardner. So those games tomorrow night are non-counters in Langdon, and the games with Park River would be non-counters also. I was talking with Coach Nate Solis before the game, and we were still talking like the Langdon games were counters. So not sure if that's maybe they were expecting to be there and still kind of in that mindset or whatever the case may be, but Park River coming to town will just be a really nice matinee affair coming up on Thursday night. 2 teams in the state tournament, but it won't count in the standings. 0-2 pitch check swing for a ball, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes on Loyland. There's a lot of that this year. Valley City, I know in the middle division, is a West Region team. Doctor steps off third and bluffs a throw over to try to chase Odenbach. Odenbach just looks at him and then nonchalantly goes back to touch up. And the 1-2 pitch to Loyland, breaking pitch high. I believe there's 12 teams in the East in the middle division. Devils Lake, the Grand Forks Blues, 2 assigned to Post 2, 2 assigned to Post 400, 2 assigned to West Fargo, Castleton, and Wapaton. So it's 11. And they move Valley City out west. 2-2 pitch on the way up high for ball 3, and the count's full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So in the irony of all ironies, next week, I was looking at Valley City's schedule. They play Castleton non-league. They play Jamestown non-league. They play league games in Mandan. Make the geography make sense. Just got to do if you got 3 divisions. 3-2 pitch, curveball missed outside for ball 4 on Loyland. He'll be on once again. It's a bases loaded walk that will drive in a run, and Thompson will take a 10-0 advantage. Just the 3rd walk that's been issued by Connor Doctor, and Eli Gemmel will come to the plate for Thompson. 0 for 1, drove in a run with a sacrifice fly back in the 1st. 10-0 Thompson. Here in the bottom of the 4th inning, a chance now to end it early tonight. And Gemmel will take a pitch for a strike, and the count is a ball, and are there no balls and a strike on Eli Gemmel. 12 hits in the game for Thompson. A set by Doctor, the pitch, swinging a flare foul out of play. Count will level up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Go back to those keys of the game. Brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center. You take a look at that second one for Thompson. Jump offensively early, and they've done that. This was their first game after a week off, and you wanted to see if there would be some ring rust there. And curveball drops in for a strike on Gemmel, and Gemmel's out number 1 of the inning as Connor Doctor picks up his 3rd strikeout of the game. But you wanted to see if there would be any ring rust there, and as it turns out, there might have been a little in certain spots, but not a lot, as the Thompson offense has roared throughout the night. And they did leave the bases loaded in the 2nd. Otherwise, it could have been a bit worse. Back to the top of the order, Dex Advim at the plate. And Advim will watch one get behind him, goes back to the screen, but a fortunate hop off the back will keep the runners from advancing. In fact, Nate Solis, I'm sure, will talk about that 2nd inning, leaving the bases loaded. During our pregame conversation, he said that they committed an error in the state tournament, and he remembered which one it was. The 1-0 swung on, laced up the middle, ground ball. It's cut off by the shortstop McGillis. He'll backhand flip to Aiden Arsvold at 2nd. Nice defensive play for Mayport to get an out. It'll drive in a run as Johnny Muse comes home to score, and that makes it 11-0 in favor of Post 181. 2nd out recorded. Tice goes on to 3rd. Loyland is forced on a nifty 6-4 play for out number 2, and Advim will reach on a fielder's choice. Braden Wolfgram set to come to the plate, and we're going to see a runner here for Dex Advim.
0-1-3, 0-1-3.
So the Tommies will go to their bench to get a runner on for the catcher, Dex Advim. And Braden Wolfgram at the plate with the Tommy, I should say Post 181. I've done that throughout the night. My apologies, folks. It's really tough to get out of that mode. So runners at the corners for Thompson. Is that Bryn Adams? Hard to read that first name on that scorecard. The pen didn't get quite through. Pitch called a strike on Wolfgram. The count levels up at 1 ball, 1 strike. I wasn't sure. When you don't get through the carbon copies on this thing, that can make it kind of a tough situation. 1-1 pitch. Hot shot to left field and deep. Back after this one is Weaver, and this will back up towards the goalposts of the football field and lead to damage for Thompson. Tice has scored easily, and they'll see the pinch runner, Adams, rounding around from first base to score. It's a stand-up 3-bagger for Braden Wolfgram, and Thompson will jump out to a 13-0 advantage. Tie scores easily, and no problems for Advim coming around from first. Thompson bats around for the second time tonight. Back to Tom Schumacher, who led it off. And right now, Thompson giving their pitcher, Eli Gemmel, some breathing room to work with. Going out in the fifth as he will try to put an end to this one in 4.5 innings tonight to get a league win for Thompson. Doctor delivers, and Schumacher sends one sky high to center field. Tracking after it, Bricker Johnson. He'll give way to the right fielder, Gunnar Beck. Beck will step up and make the catch. Schumacher will fly out to right field, and that'll do it for Thompson in their half of the fourth inning. However, 6 more runs will come across on the benefit of 4 base hits, rather 5. There was an error, and they'll leave one. We've played 4 full. Thompson pitches for the win in short order tonight. After 4 on the All True scoreboard, it's Thompson 13, Mayport CG nothing. This is our coverage of American Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. They have pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. Go to sprayadvantage.com.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill. As guys, we all love our trucks. That's why Toys for Trucks is your headquarters for all things truck. They carry an amazing selection of rims and tires, plus floor mats, tonneau covers, hitches, plows, and even Excalibur remote car starters for any car, truck, or SUV. And the best part? They can install everything for your truck right at their location. Stop out at Toys for Trucks in Grand Forks to customize your ride, or check them out at toysfortrucks.com.
Well, we'll go to the bottom of the fifth, and it's Thompson leading by a score of 13-0 over Mayport CG, and an opportunity for Thompson to win the game in short order. Connor Doctor is the leadoff batter in the order, and he'll lead things off in the fifth as well for Mayport CG here tonight as Eli Gemmel goes to the hill, delivers low for ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, coming up immediately following gameplay, for those of you that are with us, we'll take a look through our plays of the night, brought to you by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Count goes to 3 balls and no strikes. As we see Doctor at the plate, 1 for 2 with a single this evening. And a pitch misses up high for ball 4, and Eli Gemmel allows his first walk tonight. Gemmel has not yet struck out a batter, but allows a walk, and we'll see a runner for the pitcher as Horde will come back on and do the running, while Walker McGillis will come to the plate now for Mayport CG. So my thanks to my colleague Craig Keating for keeping us straight on the district. Just a couple of games coming up this week that I thought was going to mean something. It sounded like they would. Here's a ground ball to third. Picked up by Wolfgram to second base for out number 1. On to first. Not going to be in time. That was close over at first base, but we'll get 1 out of it and a fielder's choice as Doctor is forced at second base. Schumacher to Tice for the out, and Walker McGillis will reach on a fielder's choice. So 1 out, 1 on. And again, stay with us as we'll go through our plays tonight with our highlights brought to you by Proceed coming up following the game. Our post-game report will be brought to you tonight by Spray Advantage and by Lake Region State College. Spray Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. The difference between Spray Advantage and their competitors, Spray Advantage has what you're looking for in stock. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, grain carts, seed tenders. 2 locations to serve you, Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Sawyer McGillis fouls one off. The 0-1 pitch to him, up high for a ball. And our post-game report brought to you by Lake Region State College. At Lake Region State College, we change lives, precision agriculture, law enforcement, nursing, just a few of the careers you can supercharge your way into at Lake Region State College. A set, the 1-1 pitch in the dirt. The count will go to 2 balls and a strike. We'll go through our plays of the game. We'll take a break. We'll come back and wrap things up with our player awards. Finest cover of the game brought to you by Finest Auto Trim. Player of the Game Award brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Runner goes, pitch misses high. Advem's pegging all kinds of time to gun down the runner. Walker McGillis trying to swipe second, and Dex Advem. Couple of really nice defensive plays tonight. Walker McGillis is caught stealing 2-6 on the play for out number 2. Correction, 2-4, my apologies. And now with 2 outs and the base is empty. 3 balls and a strike to Sawyer McGillis, but boy, the young man behind the plate, Dex Advem. Barehanded play on a chopper. Throws out a runner trying to steal. A walk issued to Sawyer McGillis as that one misses out of the zone for ball 4. Second walk issued by Eli Gemmel. Gemmel is the pitcher of record here in a 5-inning game, so Eli is on to get the win as Tom Schumacher was taken out after 2 innings of work. Move over to first base, and the runner dives back in safely. And now, really not a whole lot to worry about with the pitch count the rest of the week. Langdon and Park River not being counters. Pitch called to strike. Boy, back in the day when Thompson was playing up there, those were some heady days of baseball, huh? Nelson County, Thompson, Park River in their heyday, Langdon, Grafton. That was just a gauntlet of a section. That could have been its own little state tournament. Got a runner hung up between first and second on a late go, and now a throw from first base to shortstop covering at second trickles out into left field, but there will be no chance to move. Sawyer McGillis will move on to second base. I don't know what we call that, a fielder's choice. The throw went to first, not to second, and he took off. So McGillis will take second base. No balls, 2 strikes to Caden Hogfuss, the batter at the plate for Mayville, trying to extend the game. A set by Gemmel, the 0-2. Hot shot, center field, that will extend the game. A base hit. Over to third will be McGillis. He's going to try to score. Throw cut off on the infield, and Mayville comes up with a run. Caden Hogfuss steps in and delivers a single to center field. And Mayville will make it a 13-1 matchup. Just a good piece of hitting right up the middle of the field. Ball was up in the zone, and Hogfuss sent it out where it needed to go. And Easton Hansen will come to the plate. 0 for 2, couple of ground outs for Hansen tonight. Gemmel delivers, and here's a flare down the right field line, twisting and foul. The count, no balls and a strike. Again, we'll be here on Thursday night for Park River. And then on Tuesday, back at Kraft Field when Post 2 comes to town to take on Grand Forks after Grand Forks has stayed down in Omaha. They usually make the trip down for the College World Series and work in some baseball games that are going on around that event. A set, the 0-1 pitch in the turf. Count will level up at 1 ball, 1 strike. Been a tough start to the season for Post 6 in Grand Forks. A couple of tough ones down with Post 400 in league play. Lost a game 2-0 to Dickinson on the back end of a doubleheader at home. 1-1, lifted high and foul. That one's toward my pickup. And I'm breathing a sigh of relief. I was up here talking with Jacob and company about how my insurance was really good. That was all a lie. I don't want to file any paperwork any more than Jacob wants to out there. 1 ball, 2 strikes, especially at this point in the game, right? 1-2 pitch on the way. High fly ball to right field, fairly well hit. Welke's back after it, backpedaling. He'll step up and make the catch. Easton Hansen will fly out to right field for out number 3, and that will retire Mayville as they come up with a run and a hit. They'll leave 1. And your final score in this one today in 4.5 innings will be Thompson 13 and Mayville 1. Let's take a look at our plays of the game tonight. Our plays of the game are brought to you by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net gets going offensively for Thompson back in the first inning. A double off the bat of Caden Loyland, who swung the bat really well tonight. Drives in a couple of runs, kind of broke the game open. Later, you'd see a single for Will Welke that would drive in a run in that second inning. That was a big one because Thompson failed to score. The bases loaded defensively. How about Dex Advem behind the plate? Bare hands a chopper, comes up with a throw. He'd come up throwing out a runner trying to steal later. And then the big hit by Drew Odenbach, who is 3 for 3 tonight to drive in a run with a crisp single to center. Those are your plays of the game, and they're brought to you tonight by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. We go to our post-game report tonight, brought to you by Spring Advantage and Lake Region State College. We'll take you through our totals in this one. First of all, for Thompson, 13 runs on 13 hits. They will commit an error, and they will leave 5 base runners tonight. The win is going to go to Eli Gemmel, who will go 3 innings of work this evening, and Gemmel will give up 1 run on a pair of base hits. Gemmel did not strike out a batter. He did walk 2 this evening. And for Mayport, it'll be a run on 5 hits. They will commit an error, and they will leave 7. Correction, no errors for Thompson, 2 errors for Mayport CG. So for Mayville, a run on 5 hits, they commit 2 errors and leave 7 tonight. And the loss will be taken by Connor Doctor. Doctor works 4 innings tonight. He'll give up 13 runs on 13 hits. Doctor walked 3 and struck out 3. So the loss to Doctor, the win to Gemmel, 13 runs on 13 hits, no errors, and 7 left for Thompson. 1 run on 5 hits, 2 errors, and 7 left, for Mayport. Let me make a correction on the totals. 13 runs, 13 hits, no errors, 5 left for Thompson. A run on 5 hits, 2 errors, and 7 left for Mayville. And again, your final score tonight is 13-1 in favor of Thompson over Mayville. The game played out in an hour and 21 minutes tonight. Began at 4:58, ended at 6:19 Central Daylight Time here in Thompson, North Dakota. And the Tommies move to 1-0 inside league play. Mayville will drop to 0-2 inside league play after this one comes to an end tonight. Mayville's now 4-10 overall, and Thompson's 1-0 inside the Legion season. We'll take a final break. We'll come back and wrap up with our player awards in just a couple of moments, so we invite you to stay with us as we continue with our coverage of Legion baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great-tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, no matter what the size, PS Doors offers the proper service for you. Get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new again. Big or small, at Finest Auto Trim, we can cover it all. To check out our services, go to finestautotrim.com or stop out on Demers Avenue in Grand Forks to get your quote today.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with Harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
As guys, we all love our trucks. That's why Toys for Trucks is your headquarters for all things truck. They carry an amazing selection of rims and tires, plus floor mats, tonneau covers, hitches, plows, and even Excalibur remote car starters for any car, truck, or SUV. And the best part? They can install everything for your truck right at their location. Stop out at Toys for Trucks in Grand Forks to customize your ride, or check them out at toysfortrucks.com.
Franson Bank and Trust in Grand Forks is a community bank that caters to businesses, farms, and consumers. They provide customized financial solutions with personalized customer service. Let Franson Bank give you the banking relationship you deserve. Real people, real results.
We welcome you back to our post-game report tonight. Thompson with a big win over Mayport CG, 13-1, 4.5 inning game this evening. Thompson erupting with 6 runs in the first, 6 runs in the fourth to close it out. Eli Gemmel picks up the win after Tom Schumacher gets a start tonight and some big performances this evening. Our post-game report brought to you by Spray Advantage and Lake Region State College. Spray Advantage, everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, and in stock at Spray Advantage with 2 locations to serve you in Grand Forks and St. Thomas, and Lake Region State College. At Lake Region State College, we change lives. Precision agriculture, law enforcement, nursing, just a couple of the careers you can supercharge your way into at Lake Region State College, lrsc.edu. That's lrsc.edu. Well, let's take on our player awards that we have for you this evening. First of all, our Player of the Game Award brought to you by PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for perfect service. If it's time for service on your garage door, you need perfect service from PS Garage Doors. They can service any make and model of garage door, whether they put it in or not. And for those of you in agriculture, if you pick up a new piece of implement this year and end up with a storage area that doesn't have a big enough door for what it is that you're storing, PS Garage Doors will come to you, widen out the door frame, and then install the right garage door. They'll take care of all the work for you. That's what we're talking about when it's perfect service. You can see them at 4733 Demers or give them a call. PS Garage Doors, serving the region since 1974 in Grand Forks and in Devil's Lake. Well, our player of the game tonight for the Thompson Tommy is going to have to be Drew Odenbach. He was the only man that was 3 for 3 this evening, 3 hits and 3 trips to the plate, scored a couple of times, had a crisp single to help finish this thing up in the fourth, came up with a nice hit when Thompson was looking for some offense back in the first, and didn't have much to do over at first base, but he got it done offensively in that number 5 spot tonight. That's what you're looking for. He's the only man that didn't get out or reach by way of an error tonight for Thompson. So there you have it. A great night for Drew Odenbach at the plate, and Drew Odenbach will be our Player of the Game Award winner, brought to you by PS Garage Doors. And our final award tonight is our Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game. And it's brought to you by Finest Auto Trim, where their motto is big or small, they cover it all. Finest Auto Trim, specializing in recovering vehicle, boat seats. If you've got car seats, if you've got boat seats or implement seats, those of you in ag, those seats need to give you the support that you deserve if you're going to go out and spend all that time in that vehicle and do the work that you need to do. So do not be out there with substandard seats. Let Finest Auto Trim cover those for you so that it gets back to looking the way that it's supposed to for you. Finest Auto Trim, big or small, they cover it all. Well, we've got one really solid player tonight. Well, actually, there were plenty of defensive plays for Thompson, but when you start talking about the plays that stand out, you've got a young catcher back there by the name of Dex Advem. And Dex tonight came up with 2 great plays, throwing out a runner who was attempting to steal, and he had plenty on it, but it was this play that really showed us what the young catcher can do. Chopper on the infield, jettisons the mask, comes out, barehands the ball, steps and throws, and I mean, that was one of those things where he had some time to work with at the end. He made that play quickly, and he was very smooth behind the plate. You can tell he's been coached to be a catcher, and he did a great job tonight defensively for Thompson, standing out. And Dex Advem will be our Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game winner, brought to you by Finest Auto Trim. Big or small, they cover it all. Well, that's going to do it for this one. 13-1 your final score tonight. Mayport will drop to 4-10 on the year and 0-2 inside district play. Thompson is now 1-0 inside the league and 1-0 overall, getting ready to go to Langdon. We're back here on Thursday when Thompson comes home to take on Park River. A couple of teams that were in the high school state tournament this year. That one, I believe, is set for a 5:30 first pitch. We'll be on the air with it. Another conversation with Nate Solis, the head coach of Thompson, in the pregame report that night, so join us for that. And we're back to Post 6 for Grand Forks coming up on Tuesday next week when they're at home to take on Post 2 from Fargo after their excursion down to the College World Series. Been fun being with you here tonight. Jacob Lindemann had our camera work this evening as our videographer here in Thompson. And our final score once again this evening in Thompson is Post 181-13, Mayport 1. That'll do it for our coverage. This has been our coverage of Legion Baseball on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.